Okay, this is going to be Unit 8, Lesson 2 on factoring. We're going to get into factoring trinomials. We're going to do very basic trinomials to start. We're also going to do difference of squares today, basic difference of squares. Okay, so what you're going to want to do, okay, all right, I'm going to go ahead and put a 1 there. All right, so what I want to do is I want to multiply the front number times that, which gives me 40, okay? And I want to find the factors of 40, okay? So if you need to use your calculator, please go ahead and do that, okay? So you want to see like what goes into something. Well, obviously 1 and 40, okay? If you need to figure this out, you go 40 divided by 2, so 2 and 20. When you go to divide by 3, all right, 40 divided by 3, that's going to be a decimal. Whoops. 40 divided by 3. Goodness, what am I doing here? All right, that's a decimal, so I don't put that. 40 divided by 4 is 10, so 4 and 10, okay? And then 40 divided by 5, let me get rid of that. 40 divided by 5 is 5 and 8. Okay, as you can see, the numbers are getting closer together. The only numbers left to try are 6 and 7. All right, 6 doesn't work. Divide by 7, 7 doesn't work. So those are your factors, okay? What I'm looking for is a set of factors. Now, since it's all positive, I can just keep it positive, okay? I'm looking for the set of factors that add up to my middle term, which that set is 13, okay? 5 plus 8 would be 13. So what I'm gonna do, I put my first term in this box, which is I squared. I put my last term in this box, which is 40. These terms from here go in as 5i, positive, and positive 8i, okay? Those terms are what add up to 13. Now, what I want to do is I want to do a GCF of each row. There's a couple ways to do this, okay? All right, and we talked about GCF before, all right? You can go to functions, miscellaneous, GCD, and you can type these in. Now, this would be a 1 and an 8. Okay, so 1, comma 8. It's 1, okay? Since they both have an I squared or an I to the first, I take the lowest one, which is I to the first. Now, if you want to do another row of GCFs, you can. Okay, that's going to be 5 in this case. I can just delete that and then put 40. So the GCF out of here is positive 5. Since it touches a positive, that's great. Now, what I can do is this times this has got to give me that. 1 times what would give me 1? Well, that's 1, and that would be I to the first. So I can just check that. 1 times 8 would give me this, okay? You can check that. So my factors are 1i to the first plus 5, 1i to the first plus 8. A lot of ways you can write that. You can write that as I plus 5, I plus 8, okay? All right, you can put a 1s in there, all right? But any of those, the order can flip. Any of those are fine, okay? So this one, multiply 12 and 2, I get 24, okay? Factors of 24, 1 and 24, okay? 24 divided by 2 would be 12. 24 divided by 3 would be 8. 25 divided by 4 would be 6. Now, if you wanted to check, 24 divided by 5 is a decimal, so it doesn't go in. So once again, I'm looking for the set that adds up to my middle term. That would be 8 and 3, okay? So what I would do, I make the boxes, 12i squared, plus 3i to the first, plus 8i to the first, all right, plus 2, okay? Just got to find the GCF out of the first row, okay? So I know this is going to be I to the first, okay? All right? So I got GCD, miscellaneous GCD, 12 and 3. That's going to be 3. It's going to be 3i to the first. GCD of 8 and 2 is 2. It'll be positive, all right? 3i times what would give me 12? That would be 4i, okay? 3i times what would give me that? Now, you can also, if you prefer, you can do the GCDs going this way if you have that issue. So if you want to do like 12 and 8, so like GCD of 12 and 8, all right, 12 comma 8, as you can see, that's 4. GCD of 3 and 2 right? 3 and 2 is 1. So if you want to do that, if you don't want to do the multiplication, you can. So my factors are 3i to the first plus 2, 4i to the first plus 1. Okay? You can write that as 3i plus 2, 4i plus 1. Okay? If the letter is x, you use x. If the letter is a, you use a. It's that simple. Okay? All right, so let's go on to a couple more examples. All right, so for this one, multiply 7 times 3 would be 21. 1 and 21. Okay, if I divide 21 by 2, I'll get a decimal. By 3, I get 7. And then you can see 21 divided by 4, no good. 21 divided by 5, no good. 21 divided by 6. All those are decimals. So I can't use any of those, okay? Now what set adds up to 10? That would be this set, okay? So what I got, 7i squared plus 3i to the first plus 7i to the first plus 3, okay? All right, so I got I to the first here and I got nothing here. So from a number standpoint, this should be pretty easy, okay? I can just figure that out. You don't have to use this GCD button if you got if you're pretty solid with your skills there, okay? So that'd be 7, all right, and GCD of 3 and 3, which is 3. Okay, so 7 times what would give me that? That'd be 1i to the first. 7 times 1 would give me that. So those are my factors. Once again, you'll see it like that. You could see it just as 7i plus 3 and I plus 1. Either way, all those are going to be right. Okay, so I just go put a 1 here. 1 times 45 would give me 45. Factors of 45, 1 and 45. 2 would create a decimal, 3 and 15. 4 would create a decimal, 5 and 9. 6, 7, and 8 would all be divided by, it wouldn't work. I'm looking for the set that adds up to 14, which would be that set. Okay, so I got 1i squared plus 5i to the first plus 9i to the first plus 45. I to the first going this way. So I type in 1 and 9, GCD 1 and 9. All right, functions, GCD 1 comma 9. Okay, that's going to be 1. GCD 5 comma 45. 5 comma 45. That gives me 5. So 1 times 1 would give me that. 1 times this would give me that. So I can see it like this. 1i to the first plus 5. 1i to the first plus 9. I plus 5. I plus 9. Any of that is fine for an answer. Okay? All right, so go ahead and practice in your Go formative. Okay? Now, after you're done practicing those and you've gotten success, what I'd like to talk about now is difference of squares. Okay, now, all right, what we need to do in order to do difference of squares, first of all, you need a minus between the terms. You need a squared and a number, okay? And there has to be a minus, so you have to have a squared term of some type, and a number, and a minus between the number, between them. Okay? Can't do difference of squares when it's a plus. The factoring doesn't work out. Okay, now, this is actually pretty easy. Okay, so I'm going to say, Mr. Evans, we need to do a box for this. Well, here's what I'd like you to do. Put your first term in, and put your last term in. Okay? All right? Now, we're going to go ahead and put a 1 here. Let's go ahead and put a 1 there. Now, it's very simple to do difference of squares. All I'm going to do is take the square root of both terms, and put one with, one will have a plus and one will have a minus, okay? So here's what I mean. I want to take the square root of 1i, I want to take the square root of 1i squared, okay? All right, square root of 1i, or square root of 1 is going to be 1. So I'm going to put I to the first. Square root of just 36 is 6. So I put 1 with a plus, 1 with a minus. Okay? So that's going to be 1i to the first, 1i minus, 1i minus 6. Now, the idea is this times this would give me this. That would be 6i to the first positive. This would give me negative 6i to the first. So if you were to add those in Desmos, what you get is 0. So that's why we don't have a middle term. Because look, if you go positive 6 minus 6, I get 0. That's why there's no middle term here. So what are my factors? 1i to the first plus 6, 1i to the first minus 6. You can just write that as I plus 6, I minus 6. All right, so it's that simple with difference of squares. So what I want to do, boom, boom, 9i squared minus 49, okay? Very simply, I'm going to take the square root of these, okay? So square root of 9 is 3, square root of 49 is 7. So 3i plus 7, 3i minus 7. Okay, that's all you have to do. Just lay that out. If you want to do the first, that's fine. So 3i to the first plus 7, 3i to the first minus 7, or you could write it as 3i plus 7, 3i minus 7. Okay, make sure you get both factors. Okay, use the box to help you. It's very simple. Okay, let's do 2 more. Okay, then you can practice. All right. So very simply, what I'm going to do here, okay, all right, I'm going to use the box, 25i squared minus 4, take the square root of both terms, okay, square root of 25 and the square root of 4. Square root of 25 is 5, square root of 4 is 2. So it's going to be 5i to the first plus 2, 5i to the first minus 2. Okay, that's simple, all right. Go ahead and put a 1 here. 1i squared minus 81. Okay, square root of 1, square root of 81. Square root of 1 is 1. Square root of 81 is 9. So 1i to the first plus 9, 1i to the first minus 9. So I can write it like this. Okay, or this. Either answer is acceptable. Okay, so go ahead and now practice those and go formative. So you just got to be able to differentiate between those. Okay, so if you get the ones with the squareds and the minuses, okay, you just can simply do the square roots. If you get the 3-term ones, okay, like these, you're gonna have to multiply, find the set that adds up to your middle term. Okay, all right, put them in the box, do the GCFs working them out. Okay, write the factors. They're the factors on the outside.